Heaven and earth undergo changes, and red mist falls. Global humanity has been drawn into this game. Red mist sweeps across the world. Monsters and monsters, ancient gods, extraordinary races, and so on, are scattered throughout the mist. There are both dangers and miracles involved. Coming into this world, awaken to the world's weakest talent. Snowflake unexpectedly, the placement mobile game he played before time travel, and the tourist frog now became his cheat. And surprisingly, he was able to travel around various different worlds and brought back frozen fruits. White deer. What? Then, more outrageous things happened. Ding, your frog cubs have returned from their trip. I have brought you a special product called Ice and Snow's Strongest Soul-Slaying Blade. Ice will pill. Ding, your frog cubs have returned from their trip. We have brought you the special product, Sword God Inheritance. Trojan Horse Bull Fragments, which inherits the supreme swordsmanship. Ding, the friend of the frog cub has arrived. Keywords of the novel. National Lord. I have created an immortal civilization without a pop-up window. National Lord. I have created an immortal civilization. Download the complete text. National Lord. I have created an immortal civilization. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Global Mist. Delusional Era. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Global Mist. Delusional Era Parallel World. Bang. After a violent tremor, Bai Lu felt that the elevator he was taking had come to a stop. At the same time, the lights on the top of the elevator began to flicker eerily, making one's spine look chilly. A girl next to her tightly gripped her phone with a gold border and muttered in extreme fear, "It's not like the elevator is scaring you." Ah bah. White deer. He looked calm and even played with his phone, clicked on the travel frog, prepared bento boxes and amulets for the frog cubs, and sent the travel frog to travel. Tun Tian Ha is the name he gave to the frog cubs. He likes to take a look at them whenever he has free time, which is not a waste of time and very interesting. After turning off the phone, Bai Lu's eyes became deep. However, this is his rental house that he has moved in for 5 years, and the elevator has never had any problems. How come his efforts to pick up a package when he goes out are broken? It's unlucky. Ding, the game Age of Fantasy has arrived, merging and locking onto the planet. Aqua Blue Star. Game data loading. Ding, the fusion is complete, and the game's participants are global creatures. Welcome to the Age of Fantasy. The day has ended, and the night has descended. Those who walk in the mist, if you cannot bear it, pray to God. They can help everything, alleviate pain, enjoy eternal happiness, and those who are about to enter the world of delusions. Live by any means possible, the winner will become a god. In the sky. Countless beams of light fell, bursting with zeros and 1 or 2 numbers, blooming with eerie blood red. The whole world has undergone strange changes. Endless red mist rolls around the world, in every corner. Even in the water. Mist is everywhere. The white deer, who had just realized something was wrong, heard the mechanical sound in his ear. Before he could react, he felt a sensation of spinning around and the stars moving around. When he opened his eyes again, he arrived at a dilapidated cabin. The dilapidated wooden house was covered in dust, with spider webs in the corners and even mist blowing in through the cracks under the wooden boards. The only thing that made White Deer feel at ease was the small flames floating on the stove of the dilapidated wooden house. What's going on? How do I remember that Age of Fantasy is a globally developed perfect-form metaverse game? How did it integrate with the real world? At this moment, Bai Lu regained consciousness and his face twitched. It's really digging a sun in the grave. Digging a sun. At this moment, he couldn't help but curse. At this moment, the mechanical sound he had heard before echoed in his ear. Welcome to the Age of Fantasy. I am the heavenly Tao system, assisting all living beings. Feel free to ask me any questions. In addition, after the fog falls on the world, everyone will have a 1-month protection period. If they voluntarily step out of the protection barrier, the protection mechanism will be shortened to 7 days, and careful choices will be made. Each lord can only take effect if they make a choice on the first day, and the protection mechanism will be determined on the second day. If they do not actively go out on the first day, the lord cannot go out for a month. Everyone will become a lord, and each lord will randomly assign a location and summoning scroll, which can randomly summon heroes, civilians, and warriors. In the birthplace, there will be basic resources such as rational potion, soon to expire bread, and rapidly changing water. Live as soon as possible, and if you are too tired, pray to the God in your heart. What's inside the fog? What will happen if I go out? Bai Lu couldn't help but ask. Ding, you have 3 free QA opportunities, now use it for the first time. The mist covers the entire blue star, where monsters, strange beasts, extraordinary creatures, sources of pollution. Ancient gods, if you step into the mist, the spirit and soul of any creature will gradually be polluted. Once your mental state faces collapse, the consequence is death or becoming a source of pollution. The mechanical sound of the heavenly Tao system appears in my ears. Sleeping in a slot is really dangerous. Bai Lu did not continue to ask questions, and now he knows nothing. Asking questions casually is a waste of opportunity. Open the personal panel. As the sound fell, personal information data appeared before our eyes. Name. White Deer level. 1 realm of all blood mental state. Rational, 98 out of 100, territory core. Spark, level 1, note. Fire is the only core of every living creature. Once the fire is extinguished, the mist will ravage your mind, until it becomes a source of pollution or death. Territory. Bailu Village, 100m x 100m, note. The number of times the domain name can be changed is 1. After the change, it will be locked and will accompany the Lord for a lifetime. Talent. Awakened, the expression of the white deer is very complex. He just let out a loud cry, which is usually done in games. I didn't expect the personal panel to really appear in front of him. However, he also understood what the small flame inside the house was. Overall, having a spark of protection within a month is safe, but these basic foods, let alone last for a month, are difficult to survive for even 3 days. The white deer looked at the food on the wooden table, 10 pieces of blackened bread, and 5 bottles of water. Saving some food can barely hold on for 2 or 3 days, but by then, I'm probably too hungry to walk. It seems that this is forcing us to step out of the protective barrier and get into the fog. The white deer communicated with each other, but it was too dangerous outside, so he decided to collect more intelligence. With doubts in mind, he opened the chat channel to see if he could get some useful intelligence from it. Then his mind moved and a brand new panel appeared in front of him, with 3 sections on top. Chat forums, trading markets, and territory rankings. Currently, only the first 2 sectors are lit up, and the last territory ranking is gray and currently unavailable. At this moment, the chat channel is also quite lively. Global people have been thrown into such a strange and terrifying place, and it is extremely unfamiliar. Everyone is also uneasy, and some people are even more frightened. And this chat channel became their only outlet for venting. Bai Lu noticed that although the people who came out to chat were more talkative than farts, they had a strong sense of protection. Each person's avatar and ID were all in a virtual state, which means anonymous chatting. A person named Jade Emperor said, "It's really like being surrounded by the sun in a nest, my day, the goddamn development of metaverse games. This is not a conspiracy to exterminate the population." By Gujing. Developers. It's getting cold, remember to cover more soil. Jun Sun Monkey. I heard those bastards recognize Erlang God as their master. Passerby a puhaha, dog. Passerby B, sleeping trough, are you serious? Contemporary netizens curse people too politely, but you said it well. Passerby C, what kind of talent have you all awakened? Just now, I placed my hand on the flame and awakened the flame control. It's a D.level talent ha. Magneto King. Cough. I am not talented, I have awakened my A.level talent, magnetic control. This. Tears of envy streamed down the corner of my mouth. It's really Magneto, is there a storm woman? Magneto King, please take me with you. I am your long-lost daughter, North Star. Woo-woo, why am I an E.level talent with vision enhancement? I don't even have any use, I can only see farther. You're okay with this, you can see if the surroundings are in danger. My Kirin arm is too weak. I changed to this one after 25 years of being single, and a fierce man cried and cried. White deer he silently retreated, chatting on the forum now without any nutrition, it seems like he hasn't gone out. What talent will I awaken? He had some vague expectations and looked at the small flame inside the room. Can you awaken your talent by placing your hand on the flame? At this moment, the white deer placed its hand above the flame. Oh, strange, there's no temperature at all. As his hand unconsciously approached the flame, the once ordinary flame suddenly burst into a brilliant light. Complex golden formations and runes appeared in an instant, suspended around the body of the white deer. The ancient and mysterious atmosphere rolls around the mat. In a daze. White deer seemed to see a pitch-black bluestone road deep in his mind, with a dusty bronze door at the end of the road. At this moment, the massive bronze door, which is several hundred feet tall, is slowly opening. Ding, congratulations on successfully awakening your talent. A special surprise is coming soon. This is a mirror. Inside the mirror was a man unparalleled in the world, handsome and charming, so handsome that he smoked. And this man is reading this new book. That's right. I'm talking about you, a handsome and wealthy group of handsome guys. This book has been invested internally, feel free to invest. The new book sets sail and requires everyone's support, recommended tickets, collection, and comments. Lao Yu kneels down and thanks everyone, end of this chapter. Chapter 2. Frog Baby It's Coming. Coming with specialty products. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Frog Baby It's Coming. Coming with specialty products. What special surprise? Are there any hidden benefits? The white deer's heart was filled with joy. And in the next moment, all the magic formations around the body turned snowy blue. A faint icy cold aura emanated, somewhat freezing. Seeing this scene, White Deer was extremely pleased and said, "Is it possible that he has awakened his talent in the ice and snow series?" Suddenly, the flames suddenly dimmed, and the snowy blue light that had just shone fainted and gradually extinguished. Immediately above the fire, a line of text becomes visible. Talent. Snowflake, serial number 998, power F, speed F, persistence F, accuracy F, potential F, affinity F, White Deer. Ghosts all know that talents have strengths and weaknesses, divided into 9 levels. SSS, SS, S, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Among them, SSS level talents have uniqueness, and each one is incredibly powerful. It can be said that as long as one obtains any SSS level talent, it will definitely be a top presence in the future. These are all written in the public beta data. The chance of getting SSS is only 1 in 1 billion, while the chance of getting F is 1 in 10 billion. Basically, the worst level talents are also E.level talents. This is really meowing unicolor F. True, hexagonal, warrior. White Deer was dumbfounded and drew an F.level cannon fodder talent that was even more difficult to draw than SSS level talents. F.level talent, with almost no room for growth, and is the lowest among all talents. Dot. The corner of the white deer's mouth twitched. This is his meowing at the beginning, it cracked in place, unlucky and unlucky. Let's take a look at my talent. What if it's different, what if the heavenly Tao system makes a mistake in judgment? In the next moment, Bai Lu's heart slightly gathered, his palm facing upwards, and waves of cold air condensed in the center. Hua in an instant, the snowy blue chill took several days to turn into a few white snowflakes, and the light wind would dissipate. Subsequently, the white deer withdrew its palm and the white ice crystals and snowflakes freely fell onto the wooden board, rapidly melting. A large black line appeared on the white deer's face. Gua gua. Suddenly, a cute green frog jumped onto his palm. Please give your frog a name so that it can travel. Note. Once the name of the frog is confirmed, it cannot be changed, and this frog can travel to all worlds and bring you special products and commemorative items. Is this the surprise I heard before? Bai Lu looked at the small emerald green frog in his palm and said to himself, why don't we call you Swallow the Heavenly Clam? Ding, Swallowing Heavenly Clam, named successfully. Swallowing Heavenly Clam really likes this name, but shows disdain for your talent and looks disgusted, so he decided to go on a trip. The cute and petite face of the frog cub surprisingly showed a disdainful expression of disdain. Quack a few times, turn around and jump, but suddenly disappear into mid-air. What? The white deer couldn't help but smile bitterly when they saw the picture of swallowing the clam. A talent that even frogs despise. But isn't this the little game I've played before, Travel Frog. He quickly set his gaze on the surprise panel. This panel is independent of the game's Heavenly Way system and has a detailed introduction on it. Actually, it's similar to a traveling frog. You need to prepare bento boxes, talismans, and props for the frog, and these basic things have not changed. What shocked the white deer the most is that frog cubs have transformed their travel destinations from domestic to global, even in the world of anime, movies, and even novels. That is to say, the specialties brought back by swallowing the heavenly clam from now on will be products of various other dimensions of the universe, and they can be used, which is too incredible. The only thing that makes white deer feel a bit regretful is that the time when the frog cubs travel is uncertain, which means that the time of going out and returning is unknown. Wait and see, I don't know which world to travel to. It would be great if you could bring various fantasy artifacts or life-saving techniques. He thought, if only the supreme bone would do. The white deer didn't idle during this period, but stepped out of the door. The outside was pitch black. To be precise, it is shrouded in fog that makes it difficult to see the direction clearly, and the soil under my feet is also hard waste soil, emitting a cold atmosphere everywhere. He walked up to the barrier, which was a transparent inverted bowl shape. Even a gentle touch of his hand would create ripples. It is particularly similar to the one below the dome. Although the protective barrier may seem thin, it can provide a strong sense of security. Bang! A loud bang. The white deer was frightened and quickly retreated. It was a huge rock that hit me. The mist surged and rolled, and the white deer swore that he now saw something ugly enough to make his scalp tingle. He lived for over 20 years and couldn't find an adjective to describe him. Outside the protective barrier, there was a head of flesh and blood overlapping, as if the boundaries of many corpses had been melted into flesh balls. The three heads on the left and right sides had become a ball, with blurred boundaries and inexplicable black viscous liquid flowing through the eyes. What's even more disgusting is that using both hands and feet, like a sarcoma centipede, becomes the support point of this huge meatball, rolling wildly to protect the barrier. The white deer swallowed a mouthful of foam with difficulty and said, "This Nima is even more alien than an alien." He was certain at this moment that the monster outside was definitely three humans. But for some unknown reason, it turned into this ghostly appearance, terrifying and terrifying, with a thick crimson liquid flowing all over its body. It was as if his words had angered the monsters outside, and all three mouths of the meatball cracked open in an incredible arc, making a sharp cry. White deer, aren't we neighbors? Come out quickly, let's go out and play together, let's go catch jellyfish together. White deer. How does this monster know my name? Hiss, it's a bit familiar. White deer. He remembered that these three people were all his neighbors, living on the 6th and 4th floors respectively. The person in the middle was the girl he met while taking the elevator. Roar! The meatball monster stumbled and collided with the barrier, its three mouths howling wildly. But the barrier is invincible, no matter how this monster attacks, there is no trace. After half an hour of impact, the meatball monster finally returned to the mist. Did you give up? The white deer was frightened and looked very pale. He couldn't imagine how the three of them were trampled and rubbed into that ghostly appearance. What is there outside the mist? Bai Lu quickly walked back into the room and felt the light of the fire before feeling a little more at ease. It's really dangerous outside the barrier. He also understood the level of danger in the fog. If you really rush in, you may be torn apart by that monster or bitten to death alive, with no chance of survival. It's not something that a normal person can handle. Kind reminder, your house has been targeted by the pollution source in the fog, the Sarcoma monster. The white deer shuddered again. It's not that he's afraid, but every normal person would be afraid, right? Take a sip of water to suppress surprise, Take a sip. Then the white deer fell asleep. What he didn't notice was that the fog drifted in with the dilapidated houses, not in large numbers, but it did exist. And the value of his mental state, rationality, on his personal panel is slowly decreasing. 3 hours later. The white deer slowly woke up, it was awakened by the noise. The tumor demon outside the barrier collided with it, and the huge collision sound woke him up instantly. Without a doubt, it is feared that once the barrier disappears, he will die immediately. Ding, your swallowing of heaven has returned. Tun Tianha has brought you back travel specialties. At this moment, the prompt sound sounded in my ear. Swallowing the sky, he didn't know where it came from, with something he had never seen before in his mouth. That's a green spiral-patterned oval fruit. But this fruit is illusory and must be extracted on a specific interface before it can be used to prevent accidental loss. The moment Bai Lu saw this fruit, his face became strange. Staring intently, suddenly, the system prompt sound reappeared in my ear. Ding, your swallowing clam has gone to the pirate world, bringing you back the travel specialty, frozen fruit. The new book sets sail. If you have any suggestions, please post them in the comments section. Also, don't forget to give me your ticket. Remember to bookmark, pretty guy. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Crisis. Demon slaves appear. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Crisis. Demon slaves appear. What? The moment when the prompt sound falls. Bai Lu felt his heart suddenly stop, his breath suffocated, and he stopped in bamboo on the spot. This, the specialty brought back from the trip, is actually frozen fruit. The demonic fruit that the famous naval general ate. My own cheat has a dedicated interface, which includes a store, item bar, and the small warehouse. Bai Lu couldn't help but swallow his saliva and turned his shocked gaze towards the semi-transparent panel in front. Click on the small warehouse, there are 9 blank small squares on top, and the top one is a fruit. Then the white deer's mind moved. Frozen fruit has been removed. The weakness of the fruit has been eliminated, rest assured to eat. This is an oval fruit with a pale blue spiral pattern. Frozen fruits can be said to be one of the absolute top abilities among natural fruits. Eaters, their bodies can release cold air and can freeze anything through their bodies. And it can turn any part of the body into ice, immune to physical attacks, non-domineering attacks, and most energy attacks. All substances can be frozen into ice, and frozen gas can be used to manufacture weapons. The light blue ice cubes produced can change freely, creating any type of weapon to attack the target. If the ability development reaches a certain level of proficiency, it can be like a green pheasant without using its body as a medium, or even without touching, and can freeze all substances through the air. In addition, any frozen creature will lose consciousness and appear in a state of false death, and its body will become fragile like ice, easily shattered and killed by small impacts. Of course, developing frozen fruits to extremely advanced levels can even permanently change the climate and environment of heaven and earth. The ability that white deer likes the most is elemental transformation. With the help of mind, it can transform any part of the body into ice, immune to all physical attacks, and even most energy attacks. These abilities, even in a chaotic world, must be extraordinary. If there are weaknesses. The first is seawater and sea tower stones, which are weaknesses that all demon fruit abilities cannot avoid. But in this world, High Lucia probably doesn't exist. Moreover, even with the elimination of weaknesses, we are not afraid of the ocean and sea buildings. The second is high temperature objects and flame attacks. As for the weakness of being afraid of fire, Bai Lu really didn't take it to heart. He remembered that the green pheasant could freeze the magma in nature and the eruption of volcanic craters. Overall, the devil fruit has almost no upper limit. As the saying goes, there is no devil's fruit without garbage, and only those who consume garbage are like this. The higher the level of development of the consumer, the more diverse and terrifying the abilities endowed by the fruit. If we can break through the ice age of the green pheasant's ultimate move and develop the absolute 0°6 realms ice sealing, that would be the true ultimate move. Ice sealing the world, freezing all elements, even space and time. As he thought, the corners of the white deer's mouth unconsciously rolled into the back of his ear. Moreover, the first weakness has been eliminated and one is not afraid of the ocean. Lift your palm and bite the frozen fruit in one bite. A hint of surprise appeared on the white deer's face. This frozen fruit. Surprisingly delicious. It said that devil fruit tastes as bad as dog poop. What's going on? Doubting in my heart, I slowly ate the entire frozen fruit into my stomach. He could feel that his body had undergone a change. That is an extremely cold force like a cold winter. It can be seen that the icy cold breath gushes out from the body of the white deer and rushes towards the rolling mat in all directions. The extremely cold aura is like a majestic dragon in all directions, freezing everything it encounters in an instant. In an instant, the entire cabin turned into an icy land, like an ice crystal artwork. In this space, there is a chilling chill everywhere. Even the white deer himself seemed to have a layer of ice crystal robe fabricated. Within his territory, there was an immense silence, a complete silence. At this moment, Bai Lu himself had no feeling, but rather a comfortable feeling of being in a fish in water. I just gained the power of the devil fruit, and in my breath, I didn't deliberately release the power inside my body. The cold air I accidentally released can freeze everything around me. This was frozen in an instant. If we were to fully unleash the icy energy, its power would probably be even more terrifying. Sure enough, we still need to continue exercising in order to control ourselves freely. The white deer's heart twitched as it regained its cold energy. Next is to test his favorite ability, Elemental. The white deer stood up, and a faint ice mist appeared all around. The mind and spirit condensed the strength within the body, lifting the palm of the hand, and the fingers instantly changed into the state of ice blocks. The cold ice spreads along the palms and arms, eventually reaching the entire body. My whole body is like an ice man. At this moment, he felt even more comfortable, as if wandering in the icy water was a part of his body. White deer is ice. This feeling is incredibly mysterious. The mind twitched slightly, lifting the elementalization. This ability is unique to natural fruits. Similarly, it is also one of the most iconic and powerful abilities. White deer believes that with the power of devil's fruit, one can definitely live forever, and even become a rare top superpower. Afterwards, he reapplied elemental techniques several times and simply trained some of his abilities to condense ice blocks. As proficiency increases, the speed of applying elemental techniques becomes faster, and the required time is gradually decreasing. He originally wanted to try other abilities, but when he looked around, he couldn't help but laugh. The small dilapidated house is already in a state of disrepair, and with all his fuss, its durability is likely to return to zero. With a wave of his hand, the ice and snow covering the dilapidated wooden house shattered and quickly melted into the air. And Tun Tianha returned to his own space to rest, while Bai Lu also thoughtfully prepared bento boxes, clover amulets, and props for the time being. My frog cub has brought me frozen fruits, and I must also prepare osmanthus steamed rice cake for it. The white deer boldly spent 100 points on the clover, and there was very little remaining clover, so it was impossible to purchase items. And then he was afraid that he wouldn't have enough rest time to eat, so he bought cream waffles, egg buns, and rice, and placed them properly. In the Travel Frog interface, the first thing that catches your eye is a small pond, where you can harvest clover every once in a while, which is the only currency of the Travel Frog system. Perhaps with good luck, you can also obtain the talisman clover. However, the white deer is a winning insulator that has not been encountered after harvesting several batches. The lords are very fragile in the early stages, so too many soldiers are needed to fight for them. There is a broken blue stone brick fence around the small wooden house. The height of this wall varies, and in some places, there are punched holes. There is also a transparent barrier outside the wall that resembles a dome. This should be the protection mechanism, it's invincible inside. Bai Lu thought to himself, but heard a roaring sound coming from a distance. Several figures rushed out of the mist, crazily colliding with the protective barrier like zombies. That is the lowest level pollution monster in the Fog of Chaos continent, the Demon Slave. But when the white deer gazed intently, it was clear that not far from the barrier, behind those constantly surging demon slaves, there was a huge flesh-ball figure walking back and forth. That tumor demon hasn't left yet. The white deer's heart sank. The Sarcoma demon clearly had wisdom and knew to first let the cannon fodder charge into the formation, attract the enemy to come out lightly, and then take their own heads. Humph. He took out 10 summoning scrolls given by the beginner. Start summoning now. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Summoning Special Combat Units. Shield of Guardianship. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Summoning Special Combat Units. Shield of Guardianship. Heavenly and earthly spirits, Heavenly King Laozi doesn't have my spirit, O Huang possessed. God bless. The white deer held the summoning scroll, and the things in its palm gradually lit up with a burst of white light. You have used recruitment ability, obtaining level 1 ordinary farmer +1, you have used recruitment ability, obtaining level 3 ordinary village chief +1, You have used recruitment ability, obtaining level 1 ordinary farmer +1, your recruitment has changed. Ding successfully recruited a special unit, level 5 golden unit. Guardian Shield. White Deer. Omega Omega. Crouching Slot, is it really the possession of the European Emperor? Or is it a compensation from the heavenly Tao system for me, the world's most useless talent? The white light inside the summoning scroll gradually diffused, forming a white elliptical light gate in front of him. After a moment, a chilling sound sounded like the roar of a tiger. A tall figure holding a 1-meter iron shield strode out of the white light. The tall and powerful man knelt on one knee, with firm cheeks, and his gaze towards the white deer was filled with admiration and fanaticism. Subordinate tiger, pay my respects to the Lord. I will swear to protect the Lord's life to the death. The big tiger transformed into muscular knots all over, full of a sense of explosion. Wearing a fur vest, with very primitive fur shorts and shoes on the lower body. Clear and faithful gaze, but also brave, skilled in battle, and resolute. Behind the huge blue and black shield, there was still a silver galloping sword hanging from his waist. His sharp eyes were piercing, and he was full of blood. Surprisingly, there is a panel for summoning characters. This game of Age of Fantasy is also very thoughtful. With a thought, Bai Lu opened the personal attributes panel of Dehu. Guardian Shield. Big Tiger, Qualification. Gold, Level. LV.5, Hunger and Satiety. 100 out of 100, Loyalty. 85, Branch. Shield Warrior, Note. Ordinary characters can be specified for conversion in the barracks, with a maximum conversion limit of 10 people. Skills. Heart of Guardianship, 1 Master, Immortality like a mountain. On the Chaotic Continent. Qualifications are divided into Black Iron, Bronze, Secret Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, King, Emperor, and Emperor levels. It is already very fortunate to have a special unit of gold quality in the early stages of the game. Bai Lu nodded and said, "Great, you will become the captain of our village's guard team in the future. You choose 3 people to move into the barracks with you and receive training. I need to see changes, a soldier who can fight." Dehu clenched his fist in his right hand and attacked the shield with a resounding sound that made people's emotions soar. He hummed, "Yes, Lord." Immediately, he selected 3 seemingly capable soldiers and headed towards the barracks. The white deer finally felt some sense of security at this moment. With the protection of a big tiger, it is difficult for ordinary enemies to approach and pose a threat to them. The Lord is very fragile in the early stages. A few pollution monsters can kill the Lord. Even if he possesses the ability to freeze fruits, he was born in a peaceful era, without any military experience, let alone any practical combat experience. If he were to confront monsters, it was very likely that he would lose out due to lack of combat experience, which was a very serious issue in the early stages and directly affected the development speed in the previous period. So currently, it seems that there is still a great need for the protection of the big tiger. However, nowadays, while it is absolutely safe within the territory, there is no peace outside. The conversion speed is very fast. Bailu village only has 10,000 square meters and its territory is not very large. The initial barracks are located in front of his small dilapidated house on the left. With the emergence of 3 upgraded radiances, those first-level ordinary farmers became second-level shield warriors. Now gather and prepare to kill those demon slaves. The white deer's eyes flickered with a cold light and immediately gave the order. The demon slave's body twisted like a zombie, with only the most primitive gnawing instinct. The dense demon slaves appeared from the mist, with a feeling of biochemical crisis. His spark illuminated the entire territory, but also attracted these monsters. The great tiger will swear to protect the Lord to the death. The big tiger raised its giant shield and its voice was incredibly calm. Just some second-level monsters, kill them. The white deer glanced at the attributes of the demon slave, which were only level 2. Only slightly stronger than a village chief without combat effectiveness. Although the village chief has 3 levels, he is only an internal affairs officer, so the second-level demon slave also has stronger killing power than the village chief. However, in the eyes of the guardian shield tiger, none of these are threats. Dehu held a horse-slaying sword in his hand and a giant shield in his other hand, and directly charged out of the protective barrier. The cold and sharp knife light swept out. I saw those demon slaves being cut off one by one, instantly turning into 2 halves and splattering blood. Killed 10 demon slaves with just 1 strike. The guardian shield is so terrifying. This is not much, but when the white deer saw the tiger place its shield in front of it and charge wildly like a fierce bull, the body of the demon slave was directly shattered into mud. Roar! The demon slaves roared ferociously, their eyes sparkling with crimson light, and they fiercely attacked in a form of encirclement. You also go out and help the leader. The white deer said to the 3 shield warriors. Immediately, They also rushed out, and with the help of 3 shield warriors, the killing became easier for De Hu, at least without any worries. 4 people fanned out and fought fiercely along the way. And the white deer was not idle either, stepping out of the protective barrier with 1 step. The terrifying cold that covered the sky and earth instantly surged out of my body, freezing everything around me in an instant. From the soil to the eerie black grass, everything has been frozen into a pale blue artwork. Which demon slaves are included? At this moment, a warning sound appeared in my ear. Ding! The Lord voluntarily steps out of the protection barrier, reducing the invincibility time of the territory. The remaining protection time is 7 days. The white deer did not pay attention, but instead continued to gather the icy power to fight against the demon slave. With his strength, a small arm-long ice arrow can instantly kill a demon slave. Cooperating with the Guardian Shield and 3 shield warriors, there is no pressure at all, fighting all the way. Kill the 2nd level demon slave, Lord's experience plus 29, gold plus 15. Kill the 2nd level demon slave, Lord's experience plus 25, gold plus 10. Kill the 2nd level demon slave, Lord's experience plus 26, gold plus 14. Arrow by arrow, the demon slave kept falling. The experience and coins that have been exposed will enter an accumulated state and be liquidated together after the battle ends. Bai Lu noticed that he didn't kill as many demon slaves as he did. Most of them were killed by big tigers, and their experience can also be shared. Gold coins can be used to purchase upgrade materials or other precious materials, and are the universal currency within the chaotic continent of the delusional era. Even upgrading territory and training troops require gold coins. Without gold coins, it would be difficult to move forward. For example, the summoning scroll for beginners at the beginning of the game is listed on the trading market at an official price of 120 gold coins. It can be said to be very expensive. Generally speaking, after almost all lords arrive, there will be a wave of pollution beasts invading, which is considered a beginner's test, but most of them persevere. If you are lucky enough to summon a special combat unit and command farmers and soldiers within your territory, there is generally no major problem and you can handle it. Afterwards, scattered pollution beasts were attracted by the light and scent of the fire every day. The first thing a new lord needs to do is to enhance their territory strength. As long as they command together, there is no problem. The downside is that summoning characters cannot go far. At present, in the same batch, it can be said that White Deer is the first person to take the initiative to step out. This means 23 days less protection time. But White Deer doesn't care. In order to search for resources and hunt monsters, they will eventually go out. He now possesses the Golden Guardian Shield and 3 level 2 shield warriors. The first wave of pollution monsters, no threat. The Great Tiger constantly fights against the Demon Slave, and as his experience points continue to increase, his attack methods become even more fierce. SpongeBob SquarePants, let's go catch jellyfish together. Strange and terrifying laughter came from the mist. I saw the mist rolling and boiling. De Hu's face was tense as he saw the huge figure in the mist rushing towards the white deer. Suddenly shouted, "Lord, be careful. The big tiger is very fast and takes the initiative to charge towards the Sarcoma demon. Get lost." The head in the middle of the Sarcoma demon roared fiercely. With a high slap, he lifted it up and then slammed it down. The big tiger raised a huge shield to resist his chest, and his entire body even hid under the shield. Boom! With a deafening roar, the level 5 tiger was directly thrown away with a punch. Bai Lu looked around and, relying on the Heavenly Dao system, he accurately saw the other party's data. Pollution Beast. Sarcoma Monster, Elite, Level. LV.10, Level 10. And it's an elite monster, no wonder it's so difficult to deal with. As for more specific skills and resistance, they can only be added to the monster guidebook after being killed. Now the white deer can only see the name and level of the opponent, but this is definitely not something that the current tiger can compete with. Retreat. Everyone return to the barrier. The first idea of the white deer is to retreat into the barrier, rely on invincible protection, and wait until it reaches the same level before killing him. But he suddenly realized that it was originally a territory in the rear, but now it has turned into fog. Moreover, a 5th-level demon slave leader is walking towards them, faintly visible. Thank you for the 1,000 starting coins for half a watermelon without sugar. Thank you for the 600 starting coins for the nebulous snowy bounty. The new year brings a new atmosphere, and new books are very important. If you want to make a fortune, take a small step forward. Collection tickets cannot be missing. In the coming year, every day we advance, we must strive for wealth. Recommended tickets and collections for the new book period are very important for following up. Thank you. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Great Danger. Demon New Leader and Elite Sarcoma Monster. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Great Danger. Demon New Leader and Elite Sarcoma Monster. It's too reckless. White Deer now deeply regrets it, and Big Tiger and 4 others protect him inside. There is a level 10 Elite Sarcoma Monster ahead. There is a level 5 Ordinary Demon Slave Leader approaching behind. Break through from the back and kill the Demon Slave Leader with all your might. The White Deer immediately ordered. There is no time to think too much. Compared to a level 10 elite monster, he prefers to fight a level 5 regular boss. Lord, we pledge to protect you to the death. The Big Tiger refused to leave first. You go kill the Demon Slave Leader first, I'll drag down the Sarcoma monster. Hurry up, this is my lord's order. The White Deer was somewhat moved, and this honest man was afraid that he would die. But don't forget, he's a frozen fruit expert. The White Deer immersed himself in his mind and pressed his palm to the ground, aiming at the Sarcoma monster in front of him. In the next moment, my mind will move slightly. Boom boom. The icy cold suddenly erupted from within, spewing out like a volcano. A roaring dragon formed directly on the ground and rushed out in an instant. Under the control of the White Deer. This ice seemed to possess wisdom and life, quickly charging towards the Sarcoma monster and freezing a magnificent ice track directly on the ground. Bang! The tumor monster, which is 2 floors tall, froze instantly. The White Deer's eyes lit up, revealing a satisfied expression. The level 10 elite monster in front of me is like an ice sculpture artwork, unable to move. This ability is even stronger than he imagined. But the accuracy was too poor, even the demon slaves who wanted to rush up around were frozen together. How fast my stamina passes. The White Deer's face slightly changes, and the ability to use fruits will consume physical strength. And the other party's strength is strong, and the physical exertion is even greater. His physical strength is not infinite. Let's go and solve the Lord's worries. The Big Tiger saw the Lord's ability and a strong admiration appeared in his eyes. We should not have questioned the Lord's orders. But he put the life of the White Deer first, so he refused to leave. Now that I see the ability of the White Deer, my heart is not only shocked, but also more admired. Only such a powerful man is worthy of becoming the lord of my Big Tiger. So, the Big Tiger will directly launch a big move. One man in charge. The already massive shield transformed into a thick golden light and rushed forward. Like a mountain crushing directly. Bang! The White Deer felt the earth tremble. Level 5 Ordinary Pollution Monster, the Demon Slave Leader was instantly killed. Guardian Shield successfully killed Level 5 Demon Slave Leader, Gold Coins plus 350, Rational Potion x10, Demon Slave Long Sword x1, Ordinary Wooden Treasure Chest x1. Ding! Successfully kill all demon slaves within 5 minutes, with no casualties on your side. Defense Evaluation. SSS. SSS level defense reward, perfect wooden treasure chest X1 has been sent to your email, please check it carefully. Just as the prompt sounded on the white deer's side, the Sarcoma monster on the other side broke through and broke free. Roar. SpongeBob SquarePants, you're so kind to me. Give me some popsicles to eat. The Sarcoma monster picked up the frozen demon slave with one hand and directly fed it into its right mouth, while the other hand picked up the ice-carved demon slave and charged towards it. 3 heads and 6 arms are just like that. I saw the white deer's eyes slightly darken. The next moment, the terrifying icy cold energy erupted from within, freezing everything around in an instant. From the withered and eerie black land to the black grass and trees above, at this moment, the world seems to have turned into a cold and snowy world. Like a corner of an ice sheet. And right in front of him, the Sarcoma ghost smashed the frozen demon slave like a stick. Bang! At the same time, a layer of cold and sturdy ice armor also covered the body of the white deer. A huge collision sounded, and the demon slave ice sculpture was directly shattered, while there were no scars on the body of the white deer. But at the same time, the Sarcoma monster was once again completely frozen by the cold air surging out of the white deer's body. He still maintained a sinister and eerie smile on his face. The body also maintains a forward smashing motion. Countless cold breath constantly surged out, making the sealing ice layer on the Sarcoma monster even thicker, freezing it in place and unable to move at all. This indiscriminate freezing ability was tested by him in a small wooden cabin. At that time, the entire territory was almost frozen by him. Ha! The white deer exhaled a slight chill and collided with the mist in the air to form ice shards. A thin layer of cold ice couldn't help but float on his handsome face. Let's go. White deer, along with Big Tiger and 4 others, left this place directly. With their sense of the territory's fire, they quickly determined their direction and said, "It's just 100 meters away." As soon as they stepped into their territory, the Sarcoma monster behind them broke through the ice barrier. The Sarcoma monster was stiff all over, slow in movement, and unwilling to let out a roar. "It's too strong, my stamina is almost depleted." After using one man, one pass, Big Tiger's stamina is also close to exhaustion, and the remaining 3 level 2 shield warriors are even more exhausted. The white deer regretfully thought of it. Otherwise, you can really kill the Sarcoma monster. There is only a difference of 5 levels. And there is so much difference between elite monsters and ordinary monsters. Bai Lu felt certain that his frozen attack did not cause much damage to the Sarcoma monster. I really don't know if I'll win or lose if I keep wasting. He dare not gamble, after all, there is only one life. The white deer lay on the ground, quietly recovering its strength, not wanting to move a single finger. Along the way, thinking about life. This damn metaverse game is too dangerous. Bai Lu said angrily in his heart, but there was also a feeling that had never appeared before. Is it excitement? No, it's very exciting, very passionate. This is not about controlling virtual characters to immerse themselves in killing monsters, but about a real experience. When he first gave birth to his icy armor, he could even feel the strong and pungent stench of the Sarcoma monster, as well as the dizzying smell of blood. This real sense of death almost made him feel infinite terror in his heart. But the desire for survival was greater than anything else. After desperately freezing the Sarcoma monster, he ran back to his own territory. It can be said that he has great fortune. Name: White Deer level 7 realms of all blood mental state. Abnormal, 40 out of 100, territory core. 1 flame seed, note. Fire is the only core of every living creature. Once the fire is extinguished, the mist will ravage your mind, until it becomes a source of pollution or death. Territory: Bailu Village, 100m x 100m, note. The number of times the domain name can be changed is 1. After the change, it will be locked and will accompany the Lord for a lifetime. Talent. Snowflake, the white deer, changed the name of its territory to Eternal Village. Although reality is very cruel, salted fish must also have ideals. Eternity has both the desire to live forever and the hope to dominate the chaotic continent in the future. Wait. The white deer saw a change, and its mental state changed from rational to abnormal. At that time, he used one of 3 questioning opportunities, and the heavenly way system explained a lot, including the explanation of mental state. In the fog, the mind is polluted, and the mental state is divided into rationality, abnormality, collapse. It is already very dangerous when there is an abnormality, as the speed of physical decline increases, even the reaction speed slows down, and the attack power decreases. If the mental state turns into a state of collapse, it will become disoriented, perhaps seeing nightmares, or even becoming monsters, and the best-case scenario is death. It's so close. The white deer saw this and was already scared out in a cold sweat from behind. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. The Strange World. For collection, for recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The Strange World. For collection, for recommendation. There are 3 bottles of rational potion in the basic resources of newcomers, which can restore their mental state after drinking. In addition, there are also advanced props such as the Spirit Gathering Talisman that can be used. This is a special wonder that requires red mist crystals as energy to activate. After activation, it can instantly restore its mental state to its peak, with a 1-day cooldown after use. Compared to consumables like rational potions, the Talisman of Concentration is indeed very convenient, but it is also very rare. Almost invisible, the trading market resources in the early stage are scarce, not to mention the Talisman of Concentration, there is not even a unique item. White deer, just think about it now. 1 bottle can restore 10 mental states, and you need to drink 7 bottles in a row to fully recover. The rational potion is really a consumable. The white deer sighed, feeling a slight pain in the flesh. But he only drank 3 bottles and his mental state returned to above 70, which is his rational state. Remaining mental state points, stay by the fire and recover a little every half hour. Although time has been much longer, if you don't go out now, as long as you maintain a rational mental state, you can slowly recover. After all, a bottle of rational potion costs 100 gold coins. The white deer lay on the wooden bed, nibbling on the hard black bread while continuing to look at the explanations given by the heavenly Tao system that had not been fully read before. This world is surrounded by thick mist, with white mist covering the sky, underground, and even water sources. In the mist, the space is very chaotic, like a maze that can change its position at any time. An ordinary person walking into the fog may have just stepped out with their front foot and then turned around to lose their original position. Only the Lord can sense the position of the territory through the spark, so as not to get lost in the fog. Bai Lu recalled the previous battle, but in reality, he did not go far. But by the time he regained his senses, the territory was already 100 meters away from them. Unknowingly, the demon slave leader and the flesh tumor monster were in danger of being sandwiched back and forth due to their transformation and displacement. To be honest, looking back now, Bai Lu still feels a wave of fear in his heart. If you don't have the ability to freeze fruits, it's really difficult to come back alone with the big tiger, and you may even become a monster in the mist like a Sarcoma monster. Fighting in the mist is really dangerous. The ubiquitous pollution causes various injuries to the mind and body, which is difficult to prevent. But currently there isn't any major problem. The urgent task now is to develop the territory as soon as possible within 7 days, and at the same time, kill the Sarcoma monster. Bai Lu pondered in his heart and said, if the protective barrier disappears after 7 days, it will be troublesome for the Sarcoma monster to harass. So within 7 days, not only do we need to develop the overall strength of the territory, but we also need to kill the Sarcoma monster. Two big tasks, heavy pressure. Territory panel, territory. Eternal village architecture. Dilapidated lord's mansion, reparable, dilapidated thatched cottage, 1, rudimentary barracks, 1, junior blacksmith's shop, 1, damaged bluestone walls, reparable, special buildings. None number of governors. Human, 10, common resources. Gold coins, 4024, wood, 2000, stone, 2000, iron ore, 2000, hemp rope, 1000, rare resources. None territory increase. Under the protection of Lord White Deer, the villagers of Eternal Village will gain cold resistance attributes and their daily water consumption will be reduced by 30%. Just as Bai Lu was looking at the attributes of his territory, he saw an old man in the distance leading other villagers cautiously to his wooden house. The White Deer walked out of the wooden house, feeling full of energy and displaying a leadership style. Lord, we only have 3 days of food reserves. The old man with gray hair showed a bitter expression on his face. As the recruited village chief, he managed the food, drink, and food for everyone, and the heavy burden made him almost unable to catch his breath. Others can say that it's enough to barely fill their stomachs, but Big Tiger and the other 4 soldiers cannot go hungry. This is a problem, wait a moment. The White Deer remembered the treasure chest obtained by killing the demon slave leader. Extracting it from his mailbox, a 2-meter wide ordinary wooden box appeared at his feet. Ding Yu opened a regular wooden treasure chest. You have obtained clean water sources X50, smoked fish X10, cured meat X10, potato seedlings X100, rusty iron swords, curved crossbows, and rusty crossbows. All of them are basic resources, and most of them are for food. Most importantly, you can plant potato seedlings now. This also means that if potatoes grow and mature in the future, they can be self-sufficient in food. Moreover, the yield of potatoes per moo is very high, which is the best news recently. The murky eyes of the old village chief immediately flowed with tears, leaving 2 tear marks on his wrinkled black face. He was extremely excited and trembled all over. It's God, God has mercy on us. Even if there are gods in this world, it has nothing to do with you or anyone here. If you must believe in gods, in Eternal Village, only I am your God, said Bai Lu with a black line on his face. How could his territory possibly give birth to other believers? This trend needs to be cut off at the seedling stage. The old village chief was frightened and woke up, quickly changing his mind. Great Lord, you are the Savior, you are the true God. White Deer waved his hand and said coldly, I don't want to hear in my territory that you believe in other gods, and you are the village chief. In the name of the Lord, I appoint you as the interior officer of Eternal Village. When I am not in Eternal Village, reverse the management of other residents and safeguard the peace and stability of Eternal Village. The old village chief was taken aback and raised his head in disbelief, as if he had become much younger at this moment. Excited with excitement and trembling hands, the village chief exclaimed loudly, Lord, thank you for giving me the grace. I will defend your honor with my life to the death. White Deer. Store these foods and distribute them according to labor. In addition, big tigers have the highest priority, so make sure their stomachs are not hungry. The village chief nodded and said, Don't worry, Lord. I need the resources of the Lord's mansion to build granaries and warehouses, and put these things inside. He pointed to the food and weapons on the ground. Bai Lu waved his hand and said, You don't need to report these things to me in the future. You are the interior officer, just take responsibility for these things. The village chief was extremely excited, devout and even willing to sacrifice his life. Lord, please let us also help rebuild our territory. If it weren't for you, we would have lost our way in the fog and become one of the polluted beasts. I am also willing to sacrifice my life for Lord. Oh, you are the greatest deity in my heart, and I am willing to call you the Eternal Lord. These village names are full of flattery. But whether or not to say it, these sounds really comforting to me. Although I am happy in my heart, as a lord, I naturally cannot reveal these things. I still said coldly, my dear people, thank you for your efforts. Interior Officer Lu Ning will arrange reconstruction work for you according to your wishes, or follow the training of the Great Tiger in the barracks. Bai Lu then spent 1,000 gold coins on the trading market to purchase the construction drawings of the granary and warehouse, handed them over to the Interior Minister Lu Ning, and then walked to an open area. Because all the buildings, including his cabin, are also being renovated. Ding your lord's mansion is being repaired. Ding the bluestone wall is being repaired. Ding the dilapidated thatched cottage is being repaired. The white deer glanced at the required materials. Repairing damaged lord's mansion. Requires wood X100, stone X50, hemp rope X60, repairing damaged bluestone walls. Requires wood X100, stone X1000, hemp rope X100, repairing thatched cottage. Requires wood X200, hemp rope X100, except for the outrageous stone used in the blue stone wall surrounding Eternal Village, there are not many other materials used, and the basic resources of the newcomers can be used just in time. But this interior official is quite convenient. After thinking for a moment, Bai Lu also extracted the perfect wooden box. Ding Yu opened the perfect wooden treasure chest. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Harvest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Harvest. Ding you have opened the perfect wooden treasure chest. You have obtained a basic material gift pack of X1, soul fire of X100, special recruitment order of X1, spirit field conversion drawing X1, fruit tree seedling X10, fluorescent mushroom X100, and bone bow creation drawing X1. The basic material gift package includes 1,000 gold coins, wood, stone, iron ore, and hemp rope each. Soul fire, a necessary item for upgrading fire seeds, used in conjunction with basic materials for advanced fire seeds. The conversion map of Ling Tian can transform 1 acre of dry soil into a field rich in spiritual energy. Planting in Ling Tian can shorten the maturation time by 10 times. The previously obtained 100 units of potato seedlings used to take 60 days to mature, but now they are planted in a spiritual field and can fully mature in just 6 days. There are also flesh fruit saplings, although there are only 10, the fruits grown have a fleshy taste, and after the growth cycle is shortened by 10 times, they only need 5 days to bear fruit. It's very magical. 1 acre of land is more than enough to plant potato seedlings and fruit tree seedlings. At least in a short period of time, the food problem has finally been resolved. That's really great. The white deer sat up happily. Next is a special recruitment order, which will be activated. For a continuous week, refugees will be attracted, and special units may appear, such as the Guardian Shield, or legendary creatures such as dwarves and elves. If luck is not good, perhaps all of them will be farmers for a week in a row. It all depends on luck. Let's use it now. The white deer eagerly took the recruitment order and activated it. Ding you have activated that special recruitment order, and for the next week, there will be more refugees entering the territory. You can refuse to take them in or accept them all. Immediately, the prompt sound fell, and the recruitment token turned into dots of white light and disappeared into the palm of the hand. White deer looked left and right and found that there was no change in the territory. It should take time, it's just been activated. He thought to himself. Taking out the fluorescent mushrooms, this plant can absorb fog and create firefly light by planting them. All the seeds are sown, and the line of sight at the edge of the territory can be widened by 10 meters. Although it is very disappointing, it is also good. As for the final bone arch creation diagram, it requires a blacksmith to add iron ore and contaminate the bones of exotic beasts in order to successfully create it. Added regular iron ore but cannot be enchanted, as it is based on polluting the bones of exotic beasts, so the bone arches will be exceptionally tough. Undoubtedly, it is a perfect wooden treasure chest. Although it is all basic materials, at this stage, it is simply a timely help. The white deer is satisfied. At this moment, the old village chief walked over and said respectfully, "Lord, we have completed the repair. Please take a look." The white deer was slightly surprised. 10 people fixed everything in 2 hours. This speed is too fast, isn't it? Let's go take a look. He decided to go and see it with his own eyes. The two of them walked one in front of the other to the Lord's mansion, and all the surface holes in the dilapidated wooden house were repaired, and the thatched cottage became stable. The most important thing is to protect the bluestone walls of the territory, which are even stronger when one person is tall. Those corpses. Bai Lu quickly noticed over 100 corpses of demon slaves in front of his mansion and asked. The old village chief said, "These demon slaves were dragged back one by one. We thought you might be useful, so we made the decision without authorization." Bai Lu walked over and saw that the bodies of these demon slaves had been piled up into a small mountain. Decomposable demon slaves. 157 pieces, do you want to decompose them? A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. Could he really break down? Yes, after playing games and killing monsters, I still have to touch the corpse. Break it all down. After the white deer clicked to decompose, all the demon slaves on the ground turned into dots of light, followed by countless scattered debris falling down. You have successfully decomposed 157 demonic slave corpses, obtaining Soul Fire X57, Mutated Claw X20, Broken Demonic Slave Long Sword X17, Rational Potion X15, Mutated Wheat Seed X120, Purified Water X20, and Golden Grain Fragments X1. Small lines of text appear on the system panel. Mutated Wheat Seed. A seed that can grow in the midst of fog pollution, fearless of pollution, strong in growth, and can be consumed with peace of mind. The seeds were harvested, but the white deer showed surprise. Crystal. Golden Pattern Fragment. One of the advanced materials in the Chaos continent of Age of Fantasy. After use, it can increase the sturdiness attribute of the entire territory with the flame seed. Note. This is a precious material that can only be used for fire, increasing the size of the entire territory. Once used, it can accumulate and fuse more gold patterns, making your territory even more solid. 5 fragments merge into a complete gold pattern. This is a good thing. Bai Lu said to the old village chief, "You did a great job. As we agreed before, we will distribute food according to the amount of labor needed. After finishing and filling our stomachs, we will store our things in the warehouse and then come with me to the farm." The old village chief smiled happily, with wrinkles on his face like a blooming chrysanthemum. Long live. Lord, it's really great. We are willing to participate in more labor. These village names all show happy smiles. The current wish is very simple, as long as there is food, it can win people's hearts. Ding, your generosity and fairness have made the village names feel warm. The loyalty of 9 village names has increased to 80, and the loyalty of Big Tiger has increased to 90. And this good thing. If loyalty reaches 80 or above, it is basically impossible to betray. The white deer laughed even happier in its heart. The territory of Eternal Village covers a total of 10,000 square meters, which is 15 acres. The Lord's mansion occupies half an acre, with a barracks and blacksmiths in the front left, a thatched cottage where the village name resides in the front right, and all the land behind is farmland. The fields are dry and foggy, making them unusable. Ding, you used the Lingtian conversion blueprint. Note. Only 1 acre of spiritual land can be converted into a spiritual land conversion blueprint. Within 1 acre of spiritual land, the growth cycle of all crops will be shortened by 10 times. Alright, after moving the materials in front of the mansion, let's plant them and they will mature in 5 or 6 days. Bai Lu took out potatoes, flesh fruit seedlings, mutated wheat seeds, and fluorescent mushrooms. Except for mushrooms, all of them are planted in the spiritual field. As for the seeds of these fluorescent mushrooms, you can sprinkle them outside the blue stone wall. Okay, I'll go do it now. The old village chief is full of power. With the previous labor distribution law, the old village chief increasingly felt that the Lord was a qualified and great person, so he worked exceptionally hard. With hope in life and a spiritual leader, one's heart also feels a sense of belonging. From this moment on, everyone in the village looked bleak in their eyes, and the red star turned into a hopeful fighting spirit. Everyone hoped to do something for Eternal Village, which was a very obvious change. Dear readers, don't keep books, okay, your follow-up reading during the new book period, as well as the recommended votes and investment data, are all important. Please collect recommended tickets. P.S. Let me tell you a secret. Those who have voted for recommendations and collected will all become wealthy this year. Good luck, Koi Physique. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Upgrade Spark. Evolutionary Town. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Upgrade Spark. Evolutionary Town. I don't know how big the chaotic continent is. Each person's place of arrival is also different. Some people are still complaining, while others are starting to despair. But some people have mastered the law of survival and are gradually exploring it. White Deer doesn't care about others because in this unfamiliar world, everyone knows their face but not their heart, only they can believe it. Now, with abundant basic resources, it's time to upgrade the spark. The white deer returned to its small wood and walked to the flame. First, count the wealth of the territory. Common resources. Soul fire, 157, gold coin, 6811, wood, 2600, stone, 1950, iron mine, 3000, hemp rope, 1740, upgrading the flame to the second level requires 100 soul fire, 1000 wood, 1500 stone, 600 hemp rope, and 3000 gold coins. The conditions are fully met. Even the gold coins were abundant, mainly obtained by killing 157 demon slaves. Do you want to upgrade the spark to level 2? Yes. Moment White Deer saw that the basic material values on the territory attribute panel were constantly rolling, and after reducing the required materials, the flame's radiance skyrocketed. He quickly withdrew from the cabin. The brilliant glow of the spark instantly enveloped the entire territory and emitted a strange energy. Within the entire territory, there seems to be a peaceful golden energy rippling. God. Miracle. This is the power of the Eternal Lord. Except for Dahu and the other 4 who are training in the barracks, the rest are all in Lingtian. 6 village names, including the old village chief Lu Ning, knelt down and murmured towards the light of the fire, their faces devout, as if a god had truly descended from within the small wooden house. The duration of the fire upgrade anomaly is not very long. When the light in front of Bai Lu completely faded, the small wooden house in front of him transformed from a dilapidated wooden house into a 2-story stone castle, exuding the dignity of a lord. Lord's Mansion. The upgraded Lord's Mansion will be better able to resist the invasion of fog, and in the future, sleeping and living in the stone house will not lose their mental state. What does it mean? Is there still fog seeping in from that dilapidated wooden house before? I didn't even pay attention before. The white deer was startled in its heart. Xin how, it's still timely now. It's not too late to make up for the lost sheep. This 2-story stone mansion covers an area of half an acre and is very spacious. In addition, there are also changes in the thatched houses where village names live. I saw a thatched cottage in the front right turn into 2 rows of small wooden houses, emitting a new and vibrant atmosphere. At a glance, Bai Lu saw that there were 10 wooden houses, each of which could accommodate 10 people, completely surplus. The barracks have also become 2, and there are also schools and training places attached. And the appearance is brand new, with a serious iron-blooded atmosphere, very good. The changes in the blacksmith shop are not significant. A red flag with an additional hammer is flying outside. To use it, the minimum requirement is for 2 villagers with forging talents to settle in before it can be opened. And now there are only 10 people watching within the territory, not a single one capable of taking on heavy responsibilities. Finally, there is the warehouse, a grain warehouse and a miscellaneous goods warehouse. Both warehouses are made of accumulated stones and are more sturdy. The capacity inside has doubled, allowing for more storage. The flames and radiance return to normal. The entire territory has been revitalized and even taken to the next level. Ding Your Spark has been upgraded to level 2. Note: the next upgrade requires gold coins x 8000, wood x 3000, stone x 3500, iron ore x 2000, hemp rope x 2000, and soul fire x 1000. In addition, after upgrading to second level fire, your territory will have 10 villagers reporting every day, can be stacked with recruitment orders, territory property panel, territory. Eternal Town, 800M x 500M, territory core. Spark, level 2, architecture. Lord's Mansion, small wooden house, 10, barracks, 2, junior blacksmith's shop, blue stone wall, granary, warehouse special building. Ling Tian, 1 acre, number of governors. Human, 10, common resources. Gold coins, 3811, wood, 1600, stone, 450, iron ore, 2000, hemp rope, 1140, rare resource. Gold pattern fragments, 1/5, territory increase. Under the protection of Lord White Deer, the villagers of Eternal Village will gain cold resistance attributes and their daily water consumption will be reduced by 30%, 400,000 square meters. Isn't that about the same size as Tiananmen Square? It is said that it can accommodate a gathering of 1 million people at the same time. Now there are only 11 people in the entire territory, which looks empty. After a busy day, Master Bai felt a little tired and couldn't hold on anymore as he returned to his bedroom on the second floor. The hard wooden bed on the second floor bedroom has a soft blanket, and lying on it no longer feels so uncomfortable. Ding Your Swallowing Clam has finally woken up and is ready to go on a trip. Your swallowing clam has gone on a trip. Silent all night. White Deer woke up and saw the time displayed on the Heavenly Way system, 7:30 in the morning. Glancing at the Travel Frog interface, swallowing the heavenly clam actually went out while he was sleeping. The frog's son has grown up and actually wants to surprise his father. White Deer happily harvested 20 lotus pond clovers, and now they have 125 clovers in stock. Prepare salad pita cakes and wait for the next time the frog cubs come back to eat them. Push open the wooden door and prepare to take a big breath of fresh air and bask in the warm sunshine. Result: the fog obscures the sky and the sun, and the entire territory is indistinguishable from the light of the fire, whether it is in the morning or at night. Ghost Place. Bai Lu cursed, if he finds the game developer, he must freeze them from wood to big dot. Please take us in, we really don't have any place to go. No way. You have been staying here all night, and you must leave today before the Lord wakes up. There are monsters outside. You want us to die? Please, I really kneel down for you. We don't have much food in our territory, even if I want to, it's impossible. You have over 20 mouths and there's nothing you can do. The voices of the old village chief Lu Ning and De who came from the residential area. There are also many unfamiliar voices among them. What's going on? I started making a lot of noise early in the morning. The White Deer took a turn and walked behind the second row of residential wooden houses. Found over 20 unfamiliar populations. These people should be refugees recruited by the recruitment order and attracted by the second order flames, right? Bai Lu looked over and clicked on the Heavenly Dao system, and the corresponding identity immediately appeared on the opposite head. 10 farmers, 5 warriors, 3 blacksmiths, 1 tailor, as well as 1 carpenter and 1 physician. He is still very satisfied with the basic identity of these refugees. The housing management is sufficient, the spiritual field needs to be planted and managed by someone, and there are not enough soldiers. Also, the blacksmith shop can finally open. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Transaction Intelligence. Preemptively interfere with the game. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Transaction Intelligence. Preemptively interfere with the game. As an internal affairs officer, the village chief Lu Ning still needs a white deer nod to accommodate such a large population. After looking at him, Bai Lu said, all of these people can be taken in, but the premise is to tell them that we don't adopt idle people in our territory. If you want to eat or drink, you have to rely on labor to exchange it. The old village chief nodded and said, Lord, show mercy. Aren't you thanking me quickly? He gave those 20.1 people a fierce glare. The refugees immediately burst into tears, crying bitterly in expressing gratitude. The white deer has left this place, as for the future, let the old man worry. Well, my conscience doesn't hurt. I was worried that no one would come, but as a result, refugees came. The recruitment order is really useful. The white deer feels happy in its heart. I thought yesterday would be over and today would take effect. I didn't expect the heavenly Tao system to be quite fair. He has 70 units of 5 liters of water resources, which should be safe for everyone to drink except for irrigation in the spiritual field. But ultimately, these water resources will still be exhausted. Open the interface of the chat forum. As the day passed, the people inside became even more chaotic. Most people are seeking food and water. Who has food? I can exchange basic resources such as gold coins, wood and hemp rope. Grandma, I'm almost starving and fainting. This place is really not a place where people can stay. Isn't it that we should go out and die? While I still have the strength, take 3 soldiers out to find food. Yeah, has anyone come up with a guide? There's a red-clad female ghost outside my protection barrier, it's too scary, Mom, anonymous ID, Magneto. Haven't everyone gone out yet? That bread isn't enough for 10 people to eat. I took the initiative to step out of the barrier, killed several batches of pollutants, and obtained some wolf skins and fresh wolf meat, so you still need to go out. Passerby, get out. 30 days of invincibility has turned into 7 days. Even if you kill me, I won't go out. Anonymous ID, Wang Fugue. But what if I don't go out, a month? I starved to death in my territory a long time ago. Magneto did not continue to reply to these passersby. Bai Lu also continued to browse through the chat records, and there were still many people who took the initiative to step out. Anyone with a bit of brain knows that bread is not enough to eat. Once the bread is eaten and the stomach is hungry without strength, that is the true desperate situation. It's better to go out and take a break. So Bai Lu estimates that from here, it can be seen that the population is divided into 2 categories, which may become a huge watershed in the later stage. Anonymous ID, Jade Emperor. Who has a rational potion? I am willing to exchange intelligence and intend to chat privately. Anonymous ID, Eternal Lord. The bacon will be sold in pairs, and you can privately negotiate the final price. You can exchange it for gold pattern fragments or other attribute fragments. It has been listed on the trading market and can be freely exchanged. This Eternal Lord is naturally the white deer. 5 fragments of golden patterns can merge into a complete golden pattern. In 6 days, the protective barrier will disappear, and he needs to make the defense of the territory stronger in order to reluctantly feel at ease. Gold pattern fragments, is this a thing? Can it be eaten? Spinach sold at a low price. Spinach sold at a low price. Spinach, spinach, spinach. Ma, I want to eat roasted yam. Gigi, do you think my abalone is edible? Dog. JPG, Wa Chow, I have the sea god needle. Do you want me to help you turn the tide? Bai Lu has exited the chat forum. At the same time, a series of red message reminders came from his friend interface. However, most of them are colored, and other basic materials need to be used for replacement. Finally, Bai Lu opens the friend list application interface and eliminates it with just one click. 999, 9999 plus friend requests have all been cleared. The true strong are lonely and do not need women. Ding, someone has sent you a reminder to strengthen your private chat, please check it carefully, white deer. Do you still have this kind of immortal function? But this is all for a long time, it seems like a special item. Otherwise, anyone who comes like this would probably go crazy. Click on the private chat interface, because there is no mutual attention, the other party can only send 3 sentences. Anonymous ID. I am Athena. Hello, I saw that you sell preserved meat and water here, but I don't have any golden fragments. Do you want a resource map of a small quarry? But I think it's too little to exchange 3 cured meat for 1 resource point. This is a small resource point, not a micro one, so I request 20 pounds and 20 liters of water. Otherwise, even if I starve to death, I won't exchange it for you. White deer. How does this guy feel like a child? However, the level of resource points varies depending on their scale and output, and can be divided into micro, small, medium, and large, with the exception of giant resource points. There will be pollution sources both inside and outside each resource point. By killing these pollution sources, the resource point can be taken over. And every once in a while, resource points will replenish themselves, so there is no need to worry about growth. This is really like in a game. Of course, 20 pounds of cured meat and 20 liters of water, not to mention a small one, even a mini mine is very worthwhile. In terms of resources, water is 5 liters per unit, meat resources are also 5 pounds per unit, and 4 units of cured meat and water. Bai Lu immediately made a decision and said, we can make a deal. If you still have resource point maps or gold pattern fragments in the future, I hope you can give priority to finding me. I am Athena. No problem. The two completed the transaction. Ding, your cured meat has been successfully exchanged, and the map of the small quarry resource points has been sent to your email for extraction at any time. Resources are the core. In the later stage, resource points may be difficult to purchase with money. With resources to upgrade the territory, recruit troops, exchange for food. In short, to quickly make the territory stronger, it is necessary to master enough resource points. In the world of Chaos Continent, the Heavenly Tao system also states that there are extraordinary lives, even ancient gods. Among them, legendary creatures such as dragons, angels, and elves are all in the age of fantasy. Perhaps this woman is really out of food, otherwise if it were him, she would definitely not be willing to exchange it. But in the chaotic world of Age of Fantasy, the first task of the beginner phase is to survive. White Deer extracts emails. Ding, you have obtained a map. Do you want to build your own map system? The cold and stiff sound of the Heavenly Way system appeared in my ears. Hiss, so versatile. White Deer, click OK. After making a choice, a brand new map section appeared in front of him in the Heavenly Tao system. In addition to the location of his territory, there is also a red dot on this map, which is mostly shrouded in fog. After checking the distance, it's not very far. Find an opportunity to take Big Tiger and explore it. Next, he found the Jade Emperor and sent him a private message. Your intelligence is about something. If it's not valuable, I won't waste a bottle of rational medicine. Ding, the Jade Emperor said, to be honest, if I hadn't spent all my resources on upgrading and used up all the rational potions outside, I wouldn't have been willing to tell you. This intelligence is a little bit about this game. Inside story. Bai Lu directly sends a rational potion to hang on the trading platform. The Jade Emperor chuckled and said, open-minded person, let me be frank when I see you so happy. As far as I know, before this game invades our world, the country can interfere. For example, if 10 people are the upper limit and 2 people are the lower limit, they will appear in the same territory or nearby. Do you understand? 2 or 3 people, or even 10 people together. In this world, does the power of many people soon manifest itself? The more people there are, the more basic resources they acquire. When combined and developed together, their advantages can instantly surpass those of ordinary players. And even if faced with danger, with so many people, it is definitely much easier than dealing with it alone. Brushing dungeons, occupying resource points, or jointly building alliances, damn it. But the white deer's eyes flickered brightly and asked, since someone can interfere with the game in advance, does that mean someone can come in early? Whenever it is a game, there will definitely be a preview version and recruitment of so-called beta players. If that's really the case, why doesn't the country tell everyone? A world that is at risk of death with a little carelessness can develop rapidly and even reduce national casualties by knowing a lot of insider information in advance. Isn't this better? The Jade Emperor said, you react quickly, but I am not sure about this issue. Although I have also thought of this issue, I think. No one would be foolish enough to want to come and die early, but I cannot rule out this possibility. Bai Lu nodded and said, if you have any more information in the future, you can exchange it with me. The Jade Emperor said, don't worry, I love trading with people the most. Bai Lu asked, by the way, the system says we need to pay in the future to ask questions. Can we just integrate the questions we ask into a big forum so that everyone can see them? The Jade Emperor said, I have also thought about your idea. Not only you and me, but many people have also done it, but the results are not satisfactory. For example, I will cover it up for you now. I asked you a question about the law of red mist pollution sources, and I will show you. What? All of them are garbled characters. Warning. Do not disclose personal inquiries about system issues to the outside world. If there is a next time, the wealth will be cleared directly. A cold system prompt appeared in the middle of the conversation between the two people. Bai Lu was shocked and said, the copyright protection awareness of this heavenly Dao system is so strong that it cannot be leaked. This means we can't pull wool. The Jade Emperor was also very helpless. I have no choice, so I want to ask about the system. It's better to pay for it yourself, after all, it's not a lot. Bai Lu responded by saying that he had originally planned to collect billions of players, but now it's impossible. The heavenly Dao system monitors the entire world like an omnipotent system. How could such a bug occur? It's just my own delusion. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Frog Cubs Come Back. Seeing and Hearing the Domineering Colors. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Frog Cubs Come Back. Seeing and Hearing the Domineering Colors. Bai Lu turned off the chat interface. This person named Jade Emperor is not simple. It seems that he also spoke on the chat forum interface at the beginning. Having this kind of intelligence now must be somewhat relevant. As for the back end, he definitely doesn't have it. If there were really a back end, we wouldn't have fallen behind in terms of resources and needed to exchange rational solutions with him. After all, buying a bottle of this item for 100 gold coins in the trading market is not expensive, so it can still be dealt with urgently. I don't know what this Jade Emperor is up to, he doesn't even have 100 gold coins on him. The white deer smiled and shook its head. However, he did not dispel his concerns about the speculations of the beta testers, but instead became more convinced. Since it is possible to interfere with the game in advance and control the landing location of the controller, the possibility of entering the game in advance is simply too high. In this game, all planet creatures are real, which means they have been killed here and can never return. Moreover, the chaotic continent has no laws or state constraints, and killing is also possible. He didn't feel excited about discovering the beta player. But fear. This global upheaval can be said to be a disaster, and the exact purpose behind it is completely unknown. At night, refugees came here again. There is 1 butler, 3 maids, and 10 farmers. 14 people. Why is it so much less? However, Bai Lu didn't think much about it either. After all, the 2 patterns of fire are fixed and attract 10 people every day, while the rest are attracted by recruitment orders, so they naturally took in these refugees. It is worth mentioning that the loyalty of these refugees is only 70, so they still need to be trained the day after tomorrow. Master. The butler is a middle-aged man, very calm and gentle. Bai Lu nodded and said, "From now on, you will be responsible for the Lord's mansion." The butler nodded and took 3 maids into the stone mansion to clean up. As for the others, they each perform their own duties and are assigned to work by the old village chief. At that moment, the swallowing clam returned. Ding, your frog cub has brought you a gift called seeing and smelling colorful dominant seed. Quack. A small and cute emerald green frog emerged from the void and jumped onto the shoulder of the white deer. As the crisp cry sounded, it showed a proud smile, holding its head high and chest high. Seed of seen and heard color dominance. Seen and heard color is a kind of domineering aura that can predict the actions of others. If you can encounter the enemy's attack method before others attack you, it undoubtedly plays a decisive role in the victory or defeat of the battle. If seen and heard color dominance is particularly strong, you can even briefly encounter the future. Nyobi. Breaking sound, Bai Lu feels that being domineering is a bug in the world of pirates. One of the 3 types of domineering aura can sharpen one's 5 senses, detect the aura and emotional changes of surrounding creatures, and can also be used to predict and avoid danger. It is called the heart net in the air island. Among them, the heart net on the empty island left the deepest impression on him. In the kingdom of the sky, Enelu utilizes the power of her heart net to know the actions of anyone and can instantly punish them. It is like a divine arrival, truly omnipotent control. This feeling is really like a deity. Then comes the ability to foresee. Ka-Air has used his sight, hearing, and color multiple times to see the future, but this time is still too short. In a blink of an eye, even if he sees the future, he cannot make any reaction. This should still be related to the level of development. If white deer can continuously develop its capabilities and break through the upper limit in the later stage, perhaps it can really see the future picture. In short, each has its own unique strengths. The white deer's heart suddenly became even more excited. If you had the aura of seeing, hearing, and predicting the opponent's actions during the battle against the Sarcoma monster before, the battle would not have been so chaotic. Before the Sarcoma monster takes action, it should be completely frozen, and then gather all its strength to form a frozen spear that pierces through the heart, which should quickly end the battle. Thinking of this, he opened the interface. Do you want to extract the seeds of the powerful aura of seeing, hearing, and color, and accept inheritance? Yes. Without any hesitation, Bai Lu immediately chose to accept. And the next moment, the seed rushed directly into the forehead, as if deeply rooted in the soul, merging with it. A strange force emanated from the center of the brain and immediately poured into the whole body. In an instant, when he opened his eyes, a flicker of visuals appeared before his eyes. Outside the protective barrier, the Sarcoma monster was still hovering, angrily smashing the ground. The corners of the mouth and the ground are covered in blood, as if it were from other creatures. If the tumor monster's own blood is black and viscous, it seems that some living creatures are unlucky to be eaten by the tumor monster. Immediately afterwards, he seemed to see further away, in the mist, an empty territory. There was a dead silence inside. Even a few skeleton soldiers kept hovering. One scene after another, as if directly presented to the eyes. This feeling is like a profound memory in the mind, like watching a movie frame by frame. Just like the perspective of God. And this is still the result of never exercising before. It seems that, like the devil fruit, once inherited, it has a certain level of proficiency. How about? Give it a try to predict. White Deer suppressed the excitement in his heart, gathered his spirit, and tried to feel the future trends in the castle. 1 second has passed. 1 minute has passed. Quack. Swallowing the heavenly clam covered its eyes with one hand, looking embarrassed and full of disgust. Bai Lu opened his eyes with a helpless expression. It was obvious that he had not yet reached that level. It's of no use at all. However, given his proficiency in just taking over seed inheritance, he lacks the ability to predict the future. But the ability to perceive actions and react can definitely be much faster. Time flies in an instant. 2 more days passed quickly. The White Deer has fully mastered the basic skills of seeing, hearing, and being domineering, perceiving the opponent's attack, and enhancing the body's reaction ability, and is now fully utilized. These days, he has been fighting against the Guardian Shield Tiger every day to improve his combat experience. At first, we could only barely win with frozen fruits. Later on, one can perceive the opponent's attack behavior, launch an early attack, and win with the least amount of physical strength and the shortest possible time. This is a big breakthrough. If we add all the abilities of frozen fruit, I'm afraid the Sarcoma monster outside is no longer his opponent. But what makes the White Deer feel very strange is, starting from the second day with only 14 refugees, the number of refugees decreased day by day for the following 2 days. Even to this day, he only managed to attract 5 people by perceiving their dominance through sight, smell, and color. What's going on? Bai Lu walked out of the barracks and headed towards the residential area. This time, the leader is a woman, but her appearance is very unique, and she is the best-dressed refugee he has seen in the past few days. She was dressed in light armor, with a head of silver hair, a slender jade neck, a crispy chest like condensed white jade, and a pair of slender and well-proportioned legs exposed. Even her beautiful lotus feet were silently enchanting, sending out tempting invitations. Especially her ears, pointed and not at all like human race. Bai Lu saw her panel and a hint of surprise appeared on her face. Seeking collection, investment, and recommended tickets. Reading data in the early stages of a new book is important. If you have any suggestions, you can post them in the comment section. End of this chapter.